Hello, 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 hello. It is Monday, and today was pretty weird. So, yeah, if you're watching this later, yeah, you can see we have two topics for today, but the first one we've already done. So, what basically happened was that I started the stream, and then after finishing the first topic, the 30-minute quick sketch, it just, I guess, crashed or whatever. I just lost connection to the server. Hopefully this doesn't happen again, because we're going to go into the next topic for today. So you don't even need any timestamps, basically, to, you know, get right into today's topic, which is reasons why your animation sucks. Maybe your animations don't really necessarily suck, or you don't think so, but maybe you still click on the video because maybe there's something you can still improve, and that is exactly what I want to go over today. We're gonna basically animate a scene with a character, and then we're gonna cover mistakes and how to avoid them, and basically going over not only my workflow kind of on how to animate the character in the scene or the animation, but also kind of, you know, what I look out for, what I try to avoid, and what you maybe can also avoid in the future, or maybe even fix in the animation that you've done so far, or that you want to fix, depending on what you want to do. So yeah, today we're gonna go over reasons why your animation sucks. So yeah, that's gonna be today's topic. Probably 2 months ago, we started the animation. We've built the environment. We blocked out the very basic animation, basically just moving the figure around, not really animating it, but just, you know, in a T pose, sliding it over the ground to kind of have the pacing down. So now we're gonna go into animating the character. Today the plan is to animate the running animation. The animation is basically him running from one side of the room to the other, and that's going to be the part that we're going to animate today. So let's go to Blender so we can go into what we're going to work with today. There you go. You cannot really see much, but that's all that we need. Okay. Where's Blender? There it is. Okay. So you can already see. Wait. Where's my chat? There it is. It's... Aha! Why was it closed before? Okay, never mind. Okay, let me just make this... change this so it fits in there. Perfect. Okay, so let's go into what this is. So, Owen, you know, we can probably just play the animation. So this is the basic block out of the animation. We've already done it. And so what I've basically done, or what we've basically done, is we've built the environment. We've added just a little bit more detail, basically parts of the environment that the figure or the character will interact with. Stuff like, of course, the corridor right here, or the, what is that? Weird. No, the corridor, the... Is there like a Boolean modifier on it? Why is it so round? Or why is it so... Oh, I can't even click it. Okay, yeah, we've built basically everything that the character is going to interact with. So if we play this animation for a second... Oh yeah, so we've built the animation. Then what we've done is we've basically created the pacing for the animation. So of course, you don't want to have the problem of, you know, starting the animation, then you say, okay, well, let me animate the beginning of the character. Okay, the character runs through this corridor. Then at the end, you realize, oh, well, you know, you animate the arms, you animate the head, you animate the body, all of that stuff. And then at the end, you realize, oh, well, it's too fast. Well, do you just move all the keyframes yourself again? Well, probably not. So what we've basically done is we begin very broad, and then we dial it down more and more and more. We define it more and more and more. It is basically the same process that you also use for sculpting. So you basically start off with a very, very broad, basic setup, and then you go more and more into the definition of whatever you do. For this, it would be the animation. You can also see that in, behind the scenes, I guess, small videos of Disney animations or stuff like that. They create first, of course, like a look dev with concept art and all that stuff. Then they create the basic scenes in 3D, maybe even light them so you can kind of at least see the composition and camera movement and all that stuff. And then they go more and more and more and more and more, fleshed out more and more and more. That is the basic, I guess, concept for animations. So for this scene, we have Roberto right here, this dude with his with all this with his rigged body, and we want to animate him. We've created this small, I guess, animation, and we blocked it out. Let's play it so we can see the pacing. And today the plan will be to animate the running animation in this big room. I'm going to show you what it looks like first. Here he's coming. You can see very, very rough. He's just clipping through everything. He breaks open the doors. He runs through this corridor. Oh no, something's behind him. Runs. There you go. Gets to the end. Looks at the lever. Doesn't really do much. He goes up the ladder because he tries to activate the lever. Goes all the way up. And there you go. Runs all the way up to the lever. Turns around. Jumps down. Breaks through the floor. He's all of a sudden in this super, super colorful galaxy sort of, whatever. And sees this light in the distance and tries to get there. So today, what we're going to animate is basically not this, because this requires probably a little bit more, fine tuning. What we're going to animate today is this. When he's running through the corridor, all the way back to, or all the way over here. Of course, maybe we're not going to do, the full thing, from here to here, but we can at least create the basic shape, or not the basic shape, the basic animations, blocking it out basically. So, of course, why is there like a cube? That's weird. We don't see it right here. Why is it in this? And that's interesting. Never seen that before. Okay. Is there anything that could be that? We have the block right here. Atmosphere. Ah, that's it. Why is it like why is it a cube? Wait. But yeah. Oh, because of backfires culling, right? Yeah. So let me set it to wire. There you go. Okay. So yeah, today what the plan is to animate him running all the way back to the lever, whatever. That's going to be today's topic. We're going to go through the whole process, and we're going to see how far we can get today. So yeah, let's talk about I guess the first mistake that you can do before we even start. The first mistake that you can do is thinking that you can do it without reference. Whether you talk to animators, professional animators at Disney, or you talk to me or anybody else. I'm not saying I'm a professional animator, but that's what I do as well. You need references. You cannot imagine all the small subtle movements that your body does when you're running, when you're, I don't know, dancing, when you're laughing. You can't really, just, I guess, you can't really just imagine it. So you need reference. How do you get references? Well, it's pretty simple. You just look up videos. Depending, of course, on what you want to do. I think there are different techniques that you can, use to find the references that you want to get. What I like to use is stock material, I guess, websites, just because you can very easily find what you're looking for. So what you could do is we can go to here. There you go. And we can go to, let's say we go to, does iStock have? Hold on. Let's go to iStock. Let's see if they have videos. They do. Perfect. Let's just look for running. So you can already see, you know, I'm just looking for, I guess, references. And a good way to find references, in my opinion, is through stock videos. Stock videos are very focused on just one thing, the thing that you put in the keywords, I guess. You could say running, you could say running man side. Does that work? Yeah, you can see now we have you know, dudes running, and we can see them from the side. So you can very dial down what you're looking for, and you get good references, because usually, of course, if they want to sell their, you know, videos, you get good references. YouTube, I think it's not that good for references. It can be good, but I think the problem with YouTube is, you know, it's not really meant for you to find reference. You could, I mean, we could probably go to YouTube for a second and see what we can find. What if we say running? Let's just say running. Well, you know, you can still probably find like videos like that, but they're not really focused on what you're looking for. They actually have like a certain, I guess, topic to them. They're not, yeah, focused. They're not just giving you a reference. They're giving you a movie where you can draw a reference out of. But these ones are more focused on what you're actually looking for. So if you're, for example, saying running, just running, you can see we get a whole lot of different running videos, stock videos. You can see here she's running up the mountain. So if we need like a, you know, we can say running mountain or whatever, and then you can find somebody running up the mountain, or you know, running fast, running slow, running straight, maybe even running, I don't know, crazy or whatever. Let's see what we find if we say running crazy. Okay, well, I guess, yeah, see, just like you can still find, I guess, good references with these sort of, you know, keyframes. So what we're trying to look for, welcome Matthew, welcome back. Hope you've enjoyed your weekend, maybe even your Monday. My Monday was okay, since or up until, I guess, 15 minutes ago, where the stream crashed and I had to restart. But other than that, it was quite enjoyable. Yeah, so yeah, number one, rely, or you should not think, mistake number one, don't try and rely on your imagination or your intuition or whatever. Don't rely on your brain. Your brain has flaws, so why not just use references to draw the real info from. Draw real life footage, or get real life footage to use that for your references. So what you're looking for is, of course, if I'm looking for references for this animation, I'm looking for references of somebody running, of course. That's why I put in running. You can say like dancing, of course, as well. You know, dancing. See some nice dancing videos here, if you need that. But I'm not looking for dancing videos. I'm looking for running videos, running references. Oh, there you go. Which I can then save in my materials folder, references, you know, materials. There you go. Let's say references. There you go. So what would be appropriate for what I'm looking for? I'm looking for a running man, or just a running dude, running person, which is running away from something. Of course, your mood can change how you run, so you can, you know, define it a little bit better. You can casually run, you can, you know, run in a marathon, which would probably be more chill or more, I guess, relaxed than if you're running away from, I don't know, like a T-Rex. So what I'm looking for is running, maybe fear, because I'm trying to get reference for what I'm trying to convey in the feeling itself. I'm not just, you know, trying to animate a running character. I'm trying to convey a feeling, the feeling of fear while he's running away. So let's see if we can find good references in here. My strategy for reference, I guess, reference finding, reference research, my strategy for reference research is start very detailed, put in as many keywords as you need to define what you're looking for, and then remove more until you find what you're looking for. So for example, over here you can see it might be pretty, you know, I guess, you know, doesn't really fit that well, just because it looks kind of slow. She's kind of looking for, you know, where she's trying to go, not really trying to hit any, you know, sticks or whatever, trying not to trip. That isn't really what fits to the scene right here. You see the floor is just, you know, straight. There's nothing to really fear. So we're not really looking for that. We're looking for something where he just tries to bolt and, you know, run to the other side of the room. So this wouldn't really fit that well. We have quite a few more. Of course, they all kind of seem to be shot from the back. Of course, if you're looking for references, you can always look for multiple angles, because, you know, especially if you're animating in 3D, different angles are important. So stuff like being shot from the back is important, because then you can kind of see how the feet, for example, move from side to side, or how you can how your hands move, which you can't really see that much in you know, on this in side footage, where they're just running from one side to the other. It's also, you know, three-dimensional, so you have to see all sides. We're not really trying to buy the reference. We're just looking for, I guess, images to you know, to use as reference. Of course, if we try to use this in commercial, I guess, videos, we would have to buy it to get the license for it. But for our purpose, we don't really need to. We don't need to buy it, just because we're not going to use it in anything commercial, which means we don't really infringe in any copyright issues. This is just for our personal, you know, use. So we can still download them with the watermark. The watermark, you know, it's still there, but, you know, you can just, I guess, ignore it. So yeah, I'm trying to find some videos, some good references for animations. This one might work quite well, although, you know, the good part about this animation, or this this reference, is that you can, that the silhouette is very defined. You can see the person is very dark. I think this one is better though. Maybe this one? No, this one looks quite casual. There was another one. This one, I think it's maybe better. We cannot see the full body, but we can at least see the movement of the arms and the legs. So of course it doesn't hurt to have too many references. So I'm just gonna grab it. I'm gonna save the video and put it in my references. There you go. Okay, so now we're just gonna collect multiple references that we can then use to create the animation. Maybe we should, you know, at some point go back to less keyframes. Of course, we only have like 3 or so, but of course, the broader it is, the more you'll find. And of course, sometimes being too broad also kind of makes it hard to really find what you're looking for, just because sometimes they don't really put the same, you know, tags in the description that you do. So sometimes being broader just gives you even more of what you're looking for. Let's see. We have a lot of movie-like, I guess, videos here. Okay, he's not really running. He's just he's just looking back. Well, okay, that's not really working. Nope, why are they all just so bad actors? Oh, this is look pretty good. Yeah. So I would just, you know, grab multiple references to have, I guess, not only multiple inspirations, but also just different ideas on how you could animate them. You know, you could have the arms pretty close to the body, you know, running like this. You could have them flailing around, like over here or whatever. You know, references are not only there to give you an idea on what natural movement looks like for your animation, but also giving you different, I guess, ways you could move your body to deliver the same feeling or create a good animation that fits to what you're trying to create. This, of course, is way too slow. So I'm going to look through a few more, maybe to find some good ones. This one is quite slow though, but we can probably grab it nonetheless. The more the better. We can then sort them out later. Well, yeah, can you? Okay, well, let's do it. Oh, this one might be pretty good. Although they're running downwards, this of course changes their stance a little bit. If you, run downwards, your core moves a little bit further back, so you can keep your balance. But we can keep it still. Just trying to get some more ideas. Of course, if you're trying to, run in fear, stuff like that, for example, is also very important. Like, not only, if you're running away from something, you're trying to see how far it's away from you, if you have to go faster or not. So, getting this movement of somebody looking back is also quite important. So I'm just going to grab this as well. There you go. Just not only moving your legs and your arms, also moving your upper body, your lower body, your hips and all that stuff is also very important. So once we have quite a few references, we can then go into, I guess, vetting them and kind of see which one fits best, and then which one we're going to start off with. See another angle, or we can see how it might look like if somebody's turning around while he's running. It's quite a complex, I guess, movement. So having a good reference for that is always nice. This one is even full body, of course. This one we don't really have. These two we don't really have that much full body shots. So I'm probably going to grab this one as well. Although this one's quite slow. But we can still see, the full body, which is quite, useful. Grab that. Okay. Let's go to, let's say running. Running is side. So we can have a side view of, animation, or the running animation. Let's see. So we have this dude, for example. This runs quite chill, in my opinion. But we can still, get some information out of this, like how the shoulder move, how the arms move, the hands, if they, flail around, if they're very stiff. So we're gonna grab that as well. Oh, wrong. Save it right there. We can also we have some more runners right there. His movements are a little bit different. He has quite stiff arms. He has, he does this more, this. Yeah, I'm gonna grab this one as well. Let's see if we can find something that is faster. I think the ones that we've seen before that were really, really, really fast might be beneficial, like this, for example. We can see how your stance changes when you, run fast. Of course, if you lean forward, you kind of, can run faster because, I don't know, I don't know how to describe it. The faster you run, the more your point of balance changes. So you have to lean more forward. There you go. Save that as well. So we have quite a few now. Let's see if we can find maybe one more that could fit in here. These ones are quite slow. Usually, most of them are just running pretty slow. This one's quite slow. This one's pretty good because it's more full body. So I'm going to grab that one as well. Oh, that's an image. And then that should be it. We can go into the next step, now that we have references. Okay. So now that we have references, let me just, I guess, hold on. So the problem, of course, being videos is can I put them in my pure ref scene? Let's see. I don't think that'll work, but we'll see. So of course, pure ref being a perfect, awesome tool for references, where you can, hold on, where you can, you've seen, put in all your references so you can see them over any other windows. So you can now just, drop all your references in this window, which will then basically, you can shuffle them around, kind of put them in the space where you need them, put them in this window, for example. And then you can set this window to always stay on top of everything else. So if you're working in Blender, this window will stay on top of it, which means perfect for references. I wonder if that also works for videos. So what if I put that in there? Nothing. Perfect. Okay, well, that doesn't work. Can we open those in Blender? Let's see. That would be pretty cool. So we don't need that. So if you go to, we don't need shaders right now. Welcome back, James. Getting an accent. Hope you've enjoyed your Monday, maybe even your weekend. Hopefully you enjoyed your... Maybe you've done something with your family. Now that, you know, we get more and more freedom. Okay, let's see if we can use some references in here. We probably don't, but let's see. There's probably some sort of way to open videos in Blender. Oh, wait. Oh, it works. Does it? No. Hold on. No, there's a video editor, isn't there? Movie sequencer. Well, but I can't see the preview. Oh, hold on. So if I put my video in here. There you go. Okay, so let's see preview. Aha, but how do we play it? Oh, okay. Well, but it could still work. Can we, I guess, hide some of these? What if can I just hide them? Oh, I can mute them. How do I unmute them? Ah, Alt H. Okay, so I'm probably just gonna work with one at a time. Put them in here and then just gonna, you know, use them as references. So I think the best one that we're gonna start off with, let's see. Okay, I'll change the, oh, there it is. Let's see. So the first one that I'm probably gonna start off with is this one with this fast running person, or this one. Just because these ones are from the side, so you can better see, you know, the, you can better, you know, see the full body first of all, and also, you know, the side views, I guess the more important part of the running animation, you know, the side movement is more secondary. Oh, the fireworks on the beach. Wait, isn't it like daytime for you? Do you even see them? I mean, yeah, isn't that like early in the morning for you? Okay, yeah. So yeah, we're gonna probably start with this one. I think this one is too close. So oh, actually, maybe we can use this one, but this one is more from, you know, a forward angle. So we're probably gonna start with this dude, the blue dude. Of course, as we said before, running faster means you have your point of balance a little bit further forward. But I think this one gives us more information on how you have to tilt your person, for example, or your character. So let's begin. Let's begin with this video. I'm gonna put that in here. There you go. Remove this one. Okay. Where's the beginning? No, where do we need to begin here? So he runs through this corridor and then ends up in the door right there. So we're gonna start the video right there. Then we're gonna go to the preview. There you go. Oh, we can see both. Hell yeah. There you go. Perfect. That's perfect references. Okay, let's go back to Blender. Last night was the 4th of July. Yeah, Independence Day. Rented an Ocean View hotel. Oh my god, nice. Nice, that's nice. Sounds pretty exciting. So you still have vacation, I guess? Now you're heading back home. Sounds pretty cool. Of course, we don't really have Independence Day here in Germany. Okay, so first mistake already avoided. If we're working with references, we are not working with only our brain. That's the first mistake avoided. Next mistake. We could now go in here and basically, you know, play this animation and do it frame by frame, kind of tracing his movement to the character. You know, starting with his core and then kind of moving it and kind of adding some structure like that. But the problem is, the problem that then may arise is in the moment that you realize that you have done a mistake or that you don't like the animation in itself. Then you maybe reach like the point of like halfway through the first loop, I guess, of the running animation, which means, well, what do? You know, you can delete everything and then lose like 5 hours of your progress. Or what you can also do is you can start off very, very rough, you know, this, you could probably see this pattern already. But if you start off very, very rough and add just a few keyframes every few, you know, maybe every 10 or so steps, you can block out your scene or your animation before you add more and more detail. You can kind of, I guess, visualize it like an image that is very, very blurry in this block-like structure, you know? When you know, this blurry, this method of blurring out something where you create these blocks all around, you know, the image, or you create, you know, you make it very blocky, and then it gets, the blocks get smaller and smaller and smaller, smaller, until you have like this very, very high, highly detailed image. That is basically what we do here. We create a very, very blocky animation in the beginning, and then we add more and more and more keyframes between these big steps, so we can detail out the movements more and more. That would be the next mistake that can happen, you know, going into detail way too early. Or, you know, trying to fill the whole space with detail, starting from here, going, you know, detail, and then you realize, oh, well, it looks pretty bad. Let's erase everything. Why not just go until you have everything done? So that's what we're going to do now. We're going to start with basically setting this up in, we're going to create a loop. Basically setting a start frame and then a end frame for when Roberto finished a whole loop. How do we determine when the loop starts and when it ends? We basically start and look at this video. So if you look at his arms right there, I think the arms are the best reference. Maybe right there, we can see, you know, where his arm position is, and then we go all the way forward to when the arm position is the exact same, right over here. Maybe we need to go further because, you know, the loop isn't really done before he moves both legs forward. So we go a little bit further, all the way over here, right there, probably. And that would be one loop. We can then trace that to, you know, Roberto as well. And then we have basically probably like, I don't know, like 6 keyframes or so, which we can then, you know, make smoother by adding more keyframes in the middle. Okay, let's begin. So let's begin probably over here. Yeah, over here, like there. So yeah, let's begin. Good thing is, of course, we can already see some keyframes here. These keyframes, though, are probably assigned to the armature itself, not to any of these individual, you know, armature pieces. So we can still animate them without interfering with the keyframes that we already have. So, okay. We probably don't... Hold on, I want to make this music a little bit quieter. There you go. Okay. So, I'm always paranoid because now I'm scared that the stream is gonna just disconnect randomly again, but it seems to be pretty good now. Okay. So, I'm gonna just clean up this space right here. I don't want to have too much in my way. Could we... Let's see, can I just get rid of this as well? I can probably just make a plane. Where's my plane? Oh, I know what I can do. I put my thingy here. Use a plane. There you go. Make it bigger. To make a floor, I don't want to be interrupted by all these walls. So I'm just going to place that plane there as the ground, and I'm going to remove the rest of these objects. Light, we don't need light right now. We don't need the environment. There you go. Modules, who needs you? Modules applied, there you go. Welcome, Pipe Kelly. Hope you have enjoyed your weekend as well. And maybe even your Monday, of course, as good as a Monday can be. Where's my plane? I think I removed it. Oh no. There it is. Yeah, so I'm just trying to set up my scene so I can actually see what I'm looking at when I'm, you know, I can just move my camera freely without being interrupted by these walls. There you go, perfect. Okay, what is this? Oh, okay, perfect. There you go. So that's all we need for now. Oh no. Okay, yeah, I'll see you. Enjoy the rest of your day. Okay, so now this should be enough room for us to create the animation. So yeah, let's begin. We have him. We've already set up the speed for how fast he needs to run. So now it all comes down to creating the animation. Let's begin. Let me actually keep my doors. There you go. So you can see where he's bashing through them. Perfect. Okay, so let's begin with blocking out the animation. We probably go in here. So in the beginning, of course, he's trying to bash through the doors, and then he kind of struggles, or he kind of stumbles until he kind of catches his balance again, and then he probably starts. Well, let's begin here. There you go. So let's begin with the animation. We basically now just trace his movement onto Roberto. This is of course the name of our character. So what I like to begin with is the base of the character. We have multiple, of course, handles that we can move. We can have the knees right here. We have the foot. We also have IK, movement for the rig, meaning if I move the foot, the knee will basically react accordingly. So yeah, I don't want to talk about the setup of the rig too much, but of course the rigs are very specific. Your rig might look different than mine, so it's if you want to follow this without this rig, then you kind of have to figure out how yours works when it comes to animating it. Okay, so what I have here is basically like a, I guess, back control. We have multiple back controls. We have one for the whole back right here, and then we have one for the hips. See, then we also have one for the chest. So what we can do now is we can kind of set it up in a way where we can we basically now try to recreate what we see in the reference. So we're going to start with the back, kind of tilting it forward. There you go. Also kind of, there you go. We can maybe even go into the side view like this, so it's easier to just rotate on the y-axis. There you go. Not too far. Maybe like this. Also moving it down a little bit, because he's kind of, his leg isn't perfectly straight. Maybe even tilt it forward because he runs forward, so the balance is a little bit further forward. This reference, of course, is kind of lacking the leg region, but I think that's okay for now. Let's go in here and use this leg. This is the front leg, or the right leg, which will of course be probably over here somewhere. There you go. We're going to put this a little bit further forward, maybe even pull this down a little bit more. I think that fits quite well. Then we can change this as well, of course, where he's looking at. That's pretty good. Then we have the arms as well. Of course, we're currently now only working on this plane. Of course, we have the whole 3D axis, the 3 axes to adjust, but we're going to do this view first. So his arm is a little bit lower over here. Perfect. You can see we still have to adjust it in this direction, but we're caring only about this one right now. And the other arm looks quite good as well. Yeah, it's coming from the back right there. Okay, let's do the front view. Of course, we can probably adjust these ourselves for now. Of course, if you're only standing on one foot, the foot will probably be in the middle of your body, just because you move your, or if you want to stand on one foot, you would have to put the foot in the middle of your balance point, which would be in the middle of your body, depending on, of course, what movement you do. But if you run forward, that would be where it is. Okay, we can also change the foot movement slightly, but that's not really what I'm concerned about right now. I'm more thinking about the main limbs, basically, like this. Okay, there you go. Let's change the arms now. We're gonna go in here. We're gonna pull it forward. I mean, in this direction. There you go. Rotate it so it's closer to his body. Of course, making it maybe a little bit more relaxed. He's still trying to run away, but the basic movement counts more than delivering, I guess, the emotion. But I think that's a good start right there. Okay. So this is the basic starting position for the running animation. And it's also going to be, because it's going to be a loop, it's going to be the end position. So we basically now create an animation that begins and ends at this frame so we can loop it in the end. Which means we can, first of all, probably adjust it a little bit. So what I'm going to do is, this looks too casual for me. I mean, too relaxed. So I'm going to grab my other reference, maybe either this one. Okay, you cannot see it. But no, I think I'm going to use this one. There you go. So this one has more of a... It's just faster, let's say. And it also is... Yeah, she's running faster, which means her pose changes just a little bit. And also the... First of all, the speed at which she does it changes. Also, kind of, the movement changes. The faster you move, the less, I guess, wobbly you are. Let's say that. So, what I definitely like the most out of this reference is when she's starting to speed up. This speed is kind of what I'm looking for. So we're gonna bring it back all the way back to here, where the beginning of this animation should start, probably over here. So we begin right there. Right there. Okay, so of course we're looking at her from the side, or kind of from, from here, but we can still use that for the reference. So right now we can see, for example, her leg is more forward than this one, so we can adjust it a little bit, maybe pull it forward a little bit, like this. The other leg is quite straight actually, so I'm going to move it a little bit further back. And then move the body up as well. Then we have the arms. This arm is more forward. There you go. This hand is further back. It is also, I think, more flayed out, not too much, but there you go. We can also probably pull this a little bit more forward. Maybe this one back a little bit. And then the knees. There you go. Okay, so this is the beginning of this animation. Of course, the, the motion blur doesn't really help us that much, but it still works. Okay, so this will be the beginning frame. There you go. So now let's begin with the animation. What we do now is we basically apply, or we create a keyframe for all the limbs that move right now. So the feet, the hands, maybe even the elbows, but we can probably do the elbows later. The base of the back and stuff like that. So yeah, let's do that. So we create a keyframe for the back right here. We can just say, I guess, yeah, that's only really what we need to move. Maybe the rotation as well, but we can do that later as well. The basic movement for the back right now is the location. We also have the arms, of course. We're gonna only do the location right now. There you go. We also have the feet. The feet we probably need to rotate. Probably also as well the arms, actually, the hands. So we're gonna insert keyframes here as well. I wonder what the W key does. What does W do? Oh, wait, what? Okay. Okay, so the feet have the rotation as well. There you go. Okay, perfect. So now that we have that, let's go into the next one. The next one would be where she basically... So we have one now where she's standing on one foot. Let's go to the next step that we find, I guess, appropriate, which would be where she's standing on the other foot. So let's go to the position where she's standing on the other foot. Wait, oh, she's actually standing with the right foot. Okay, hold on. That is something I haven't seen. It looks kind of weird. So I thought she's the other foot is standing on the ground. There you go. Shouldn't be a big problem to fix though. There you go. Makes more sense because usually if you have your the foot that you have forward is the one that you, I mean the foot that is back is, you know, the hand that is on the same side is forward. There you go. Okay. Perfect. So that's the beginning. Let's replace these keyframes right now. There you go. These ones are still good. And the foot. There you go. Okay. We can be pretty rough. We can still do it, you know, adjustments. That's how this, you know, is supposed to work. Okay. So now that we have that, let's go into the next few keyframes. How can I just go once? Oh, there you go. So now I'm looking for where she's standing on the other foot. She's running, and then she's, there you go. Let's use this one. I think that's pretty good. Or this one. This one looks more appropriate to what we had before. So yeah, let's just let's use that. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna just keyframe this movement. So I'm gonna go in here and move my foot. The foot is upwards. There you go. Pull it up. Now now he's flying. There you go. And then we use the other foot, put it on the ground. This foot, of course, is quite far down or further back now. There you go. We also have a control for the toe. He doesn't really have toes, but he still has like a control for it. But I'm not really concerned about that right now. There you go. You can also see his knees need to be bent a little bit. There you go. This foot needs to be further in the middle. There you go. A frog. Okay. Do we just... No, hold on. No, I think that's good, yeah. But the arms didn't really move, hold on. Did I forget something? Hold on, let me see. So we can of course still put in the keyframes so we can keep those. There you go. So that's the first, wait, is that the first one? It's hard to see, I'm gonna go closer. There you go, yeah, that's the first one. So that's the first one, yeah, that's good. Then we, it moves forward. And then it moves down. Okay. See? So we have this keyframe, this frame basically. Then we go forward to where she has the other foot forward. There you go. We can already see a slight, you know, running animation. It's not perfect, but you could see how the foot changes. So now what we're going to do is we're going to adjust the arms. And then we're going to finish the loop. The very, very rough loop, of course. But let's do that. Okay, so let's grab the arms. The arms. So that's what I was kind of confused about. Oh, okay, so she's... Okay. So she's moving her arms twice in the movement, or in the time that she's moving her legs once. That's why I was confused. Okay, so we can actually keep the arms quite further back, like over here. Put the keyframes in there. Do the same for the arms. Oh, there you go. I mean, for the other one. This one needs to be a little bit further up, maybe. Like over here. There you go. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Okay, so that's the first half of the animation. Now we need the other one. Let's go further. Now we need, you know, where she's placing her foot, or where she has the other foot on the ground again. So right over here. There you go. And let's do the animation again. Or the placement of the feet. There you go. Put that down, rotate it. Oh, there you go. On the ground. Kind of, you know, bend. There you go. The other one is high in the air. Over here. Perfect. The arms, of course, aren't, of course, if you're, organically running, you're not perfectly having the same motion. So it's not like perfect, but it's still a good reference that we can use. So we can probably, put it maybe over here. There you go. Oh. Okay. Insert keyframe. Insert keyframe. So that should be the full loop, right? Hold on. So he's changing the foot. Seems like she's actually speeding up there, so we probably have to... Okay. We probably have to do one more, just to kind of get the loop right, because this one is, that's where exactly where she's speeding up, right there, and now she decides, well, let's run a little bit faster, which of course means the keyframes are closer together. So, hold on, are they? There you go. Yeah, I mean, of course, it's not perfectly, in a, I guess, tact. Is it tact? But you can still use it as reference for animations. I mean, for the running animation. Oh, we can see it right here. That's where the... Okay. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now is do the last step, which would be... Wait, she's... Yeah, hold on. She's running. Her other foot is forward, and the other foot is forward again. Oh, wait. I know what was wrong. I moved the same... I mean, I have the... Hold on. I forgot to move the... I mean, I forgot to keyframe the feet. Let's do that. That's, of course, something you have to watch out for. To always keyframe your object that you animate. There you go. Shouldn't take too long to really fix it, I mean. There you go. Now, insert keyframe and insert keyframe on both the rotation and also the location. Then the arms, do we have... I think we've... Oh, we changed the arm rotation, right? Let's see. So we have this. Yeah. Then we have this. Yeah, let's go to the next one, where she's moving the foot again. There you go. Let's do the next one. So now we have the feet again. Let's begin with those. The leg needs to be quite high. There you go. Then we need the other one. Pull it down. So basically, as I said before, multiple times, blocking out the animation. We should be done soon with the basic, very, very basic movement. And there you go. Of course, we're trying to animate as little limbs as possible right now, so we can still do big changes without having to touch too many pieces. Let's do the arms. The arms are quite close again together. We can probably keep them there. Or, no, let's keep them there. Of course, if you're transitioning from one leg to the other, the arms will stay in roughly the same spot as well. There you go. Okay. Because, this is basically the middle point. And if you have one arm forward when you have one foot forward, then if you have everything in the middle, then everything's in the middle. There you go. Okay. And then we should have one more right here. And that is basically the end of the loop. So now we do the same over here as well. We go in here, and move this leg down. We can also, what we can do is we can now select the first keyframe in this whole thing. We can go down here to the foot IKR and use this keyframe. We can now select all the keyframes, copy, Control C, and then Control V to copy the location. Which is not right, because that's not the one that I'm looking for. I select this one. There you go. Okay. Let me do some adjustments here. There you go. Okay. Let me do the same adjustments over there. So I'm just going to copy this, Control C, go over here, delete these, X, delete keyframes, Control V. And then we have the same over here than we have over there. Okay, let's do the same with the other foot. Go in here, select this, foot L, copy. Where do we need to place it? We need to place it right there. Go in here, select the foot, and Control C, Control V. There you go. Now we have the this one there. We can then go into the hands. The hands aren't really that involved right now, but that will change soon. One thing that I want to change right now is I want to put a marker at the end. How do I place a marker again? I want to put my marker right there, just so I know that there's where the animation ends, so that I can basically bring down the, I guess, time line only to where we're animating, so we can loop it basically and see the loop that we're creating. So I want to put in a marker right here, add marker, call it, can I just rename it here? Please. Marker, rename marker, end. There you go. So now we can go back to the animation. Where's my dude? Oh, he's back here. There you go. So now we can go in here and we can create the bounce of the loop, basically beginning from here where he starts to move, right here, 5 plus 23. We're going to say, what frame is that? 23, 173, so 173, all the way up to 200. 200. There you go. Now we can see if we play this. You can see what happens. He moves his legs. So now what we're gonna do, we're gonna do the same for the arms, and then we have the basic loop of a running animation, the very rough loop, of course. What I also want to do is I want to probably space this out evenly so he has a smooth running animation. Although we can probably also do that later. Let's begin with the, yeah, exactly, it's Usain Bolt, he's running as fast as he can. We're going to do the arms first. So let's begin. We have this frame right here. We also have another one right there. Perfect. We have one more right there, where she's also pretty close, but we could probably move it over here a little bit. The only thing that really matters in this loop is that the end and the beginning match. Everything else is kind of, you know, in the air how you place it. But of course we stay close to the reference. There you go. Insert keyframe, insert keyframe. Maybe over here a little bit more. There you go. Okay, let's do the other hand. The other hand is actually keyframed already. Perfect. So we only have to do this one. There you go. And here it's the same, but she's a little bit more forward. Maybe also a little bit more down. There you go. Insert keyframe. Rotation, yeah. Perfect. Everything is keyframed except for the end. So what we do for the end is we go to hand IKR, select the keyframe. The most, the highest keyframe always, includes all the keyframes that are in the hand object. You can also, copy detailed keyframes by going through this list here, but the first one includes all of them. Copy and paste. There you go. If we play this now, we can see, oh, I think this hand is kind of messed up. Let's see. The other hand. Let's see. Of course, we right now only have created the keyframes for the frames where she's kind of, you know, has her hands in the middle and also her legs. So this hand shouldn't move as much as it does. Or, yeah, let's see. So let's go to the first one. There you go. I think this is too far forward. So we're going to move this back a little bit, maybe over here. There you go. Right there. Put that right there. We go to the next frame, where she's also, I think this is too high. This is too early in the animation to really have the hand that high. There you go. Do the same over here, but yeah, this one fits quite well. And then we have this one as well. I think that's also quite good. Okay, so this one should work better now. I think this is still quite wide forward. Although, let's see. But I think that works. Hold on. Maybe we should change this one. No, this one is good. And this one. Oh, there's one missing. Is there? Yeah. There's the end missing. This one needs to be maybe a little bit more forward. Although, no, that's good. Wait, which one's missing? There was one missing, right? Was there? Oh, this one. The hand. There you go. Copy and paste. Okay, perfect. Okay, now so that we have the first steps, we can now detail them more. What I mean is, we now go basically in between these keyframes and add the middle between these. So if we go in here and go maybe to here, you can see now she has her arms forward and also her legs forward and backwards. This will be the next step of the keyframe. We basically we go into the middle of the two keyframes that exist right now to basically, yeah, double the resolution of the animation. So now what we do is we go in here and move the legs. The first step that I want to do is go probably in here, right there, and use this foot. This foot needs to be further back. Over here. Let's put it over here. There you go. We say insert keyframe, insert rotation. Maybe we could rotate this back a little bit more. There you go. Insert replace keyframe. Grab the other foot and do the same over here. There you go. Insert keyframe. Oh, insert keyframe. Insert keyframe. There you go. Now we have this. There you go. We have the first step. See right there. Zip. Perfect. Let's do the other foot. No, this foot is already done. Right. Okay. Let's finish the feet first before we do the hands. So if we're going to continue with this. So this one will be probably somewhere over here. Maybe right there. Right there. Let's use this one. So this one is further back, of course. Maybe over here. There you go. Also, he's already flying again. There you go. That's pretty good. Insert keyframe, and do the other foot. There you go. Insert keyframe. Let's go to the next one. Welcome back, Yanis. Moin. Hope you've enjoyed your Monday so far. Let's do this one. Wait, did we do both on there? This one's keyframed and this one's keyframed as well. Perfect. Let's go to this one. Which one's forward? The left one, right? Yeah. Let's go over here. Do the same. Okay, Matthew, I'll see you. Thanks for joining. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day. There you go. That should be a good position for now. This week will be dedicated to finishing the animation that we started 2 months ago. So we're gonna go over, different parts of the animation process, how to start, how to end, and today is about mistakes to avoid when animating characters, or when animating overall, why your animations might suck. We had stuff like the using references instead of just using your intuition and your imagination for animations. We also have starting the animation very rough, and then adding more and more keyframes to it to make it smoother and smoother and smoother, adding more and more detail to the animation. This is the step that we're working on right now. And then once we have the basic loop, so we're going to add these steps to the hands as well, and then I'm going to talk a little bit more about something else that is important, especially when you're animating characters like this. Let's go over here. There you go. There you go. Perfect. Insert keyframe. Let's see what it looks like. You can see he's already running like Naruto, but it works quite well. Just these few keyframes delivers the running animation quite well. So the next step would be doing the hands, and then we already have like a pretty basic running animation. We're gonna detail it more, of course, but this is the basics of how we're gonna do any animations that we're gonna add to this scene. So let's do the hands now, and then we have the basics of the running animation. We're of course trying to match the keyframes that we've placed for the feet. So this one will be the next one. This one is quite forward over here. There you go. Insert keyframe. Let's do the other hand. The other hand isn't really that visible. We can maybe look at the other stock footage. Can we? Hold on. Mute. Muting doesn't work. Well, then we're not gonna look at it. I guess we can just look at it. Wait. Oh, I just added a new marker by using M. That's interesting. Remove. Wait. Delete marker. No, not oh no, I almost deleted everything. I'm just gonna leave it there. Yeah. So let's do the hands. There you go. So I'm just gonna place it here somewhere. We can also look at the other frame, I guess, where the other hand is backwards. So this will be the movement, or the placement for the arm on the other side as well. So probably over here somewhere, like this. That looks pretty good. Yeah. Insert keyframe, and then we go to the next step, right here. Is this one? Nope, the other one. There you go. We're gonna space those out more evenly later. Right now we only care about matching the reference. Now we have this one right here, forward. Pretty close to the body. If you're running very close, it's kind of hard. If you're flailing a lot, you lose balance quite fast. So you try to keep your body parts quite stiff and quite controlled, close to your body, which prevents losing the balance. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there for now. Insert keyframe. Of course, the more keyframes we add to this, the more we have to change later if we do big changes, but that's why we start off very rough, because we can then see big problems in the beginning, which we can change easier than if we have everything keyframed out already. And this one as well. Yeah, this, we need to change this probably later, but not right now. There you go. Okay. Next step would be over here. Use the hand, put it forward. There you go. Rotate. There you go. It's a keyframe, it's a keyframe. Do the other hand. Well, it's already back there again. Let's maybe place it over here, like this. I think that's pretty good. It's a keyframe, it's a keyframe. And then we need one more step to finish the loop. Oh, hello. There you go. Place it close to the body. Follow the reference. There you go, it's a keyframe. And you can see in just a little bit of time, you already have a pretty good running animation. It doesn't really take too long, doesn't really need that many keyframes. And the good thing about this method, it is similar to the, what is it called? The render method, which I mean is, where is it? Oh, we're in Eevee. Okay, so there's a cycle render setting that is something called like progressive render or whatever, where it basically renders the whole image at once and adds more and more samples on top of, you know, the existing render, which means it gets less and less noisy, but you can see the whole image right from the beginning, which is of course useful, because then you can decide when you want to end the render. There's no sampling that you said. You can let this you know, what is it, progressive rendering or whatever, render as long as you want. You decide when it stops. The same you can apply to the animation. You can add more and more detail to the animation, but you can decide when it's enough and when you move on to the next part of the animation. So now we have the steps done. Let's see what it looks like. You can see we have a pretty, you know, we have the beginning of the animation. So let's talk about how your body moves while or let's talk about I guess, yeah, animating a person. Yeah, this might be a problem that you might have. You can see we have the basic running animation now. Can we kind of follow it? I don't think so, but yeah, let's see. So we have the basic running animation now. You can see it looks like he's running. Let me go into slow motion here. Hold on. Da-da-da. See, he's running. So it definitely looks like running, but there's something weird. First of all, of course, we could add more keyframes to make it more smooth. But what we can also see is that he is very stiff. He's basically weightless. So every time you move a character, or yeah, let me just first say what the mistake is that you have to watch out for. If you animate characters, if you animate anything, I guess the first rule, at least in my opinion, that you need to keep in mind when you're animating anything, and that is inertia. Basically, energy. It's not really any energy preservation, whatever. But it is inertia. Inertia basically means, first of all, it takes a little bit before you reach maximum speed, and it also takes a little bit before you slow down completely. What I mean by that is you have a ramp up time, which means if you, for example, move your hand, like I can move it as fast as I want, there's always going to be the beginning of the animation that begins slowly and then speeds up until I reach the highest point of speed, and then it slows down again. If I do this, if you would slow this down, you would see that where I reach like the middle of my movement is the fastest point, and then it ramps down, it ramps up, and it ramps down again. Inertia is also important when it comes to weight. Of course, why does inertia exist? Because to move weight, you have to exert energy, and of course, if you want to, move weight, you also have, it takes time before you reach the maximum limit. It also is, the weight is not only important for inertia when it comes to, moving one thing from here to here, but it is also important for how your body reacts to different movements in, for example, when you move your hand, you can see, or if you, I don't know if you can see it in the face cam, but if I move this, not only my hand moves, my elbow moves as well, if I stay pretty stiff here, but you can also see, if you look at this arm, the other arm moves as well. So even though I only move this arm, my whole body shakes a little bit, because, the movement kind of ripples through my whole body. And that is basically what we don't have right here. There's no weight that moves the body. The thing that basically happens is his middle part of the body flies through the air, and then his legs kind of act as if he's, running. Comparing that to her, we can see that with every step, she's kind of, running like this. Her body lifts the weight up, and then it falls down onto the other leg. She lifts it back up again. It falls back down on the leg, lifts back up, and that's what creates this weight effect. So if you feel like your character doesn't have any weight, it might be because you don't really create this ripple effect throughout the body. So, for example, if you're animating this, what we're now going to implement is the movement of the basic, the body basically. So what we're going to do is we're going to add basically something like this, so that he actually jumps up and then lands again, to create this, running animation. You can see, even if I just act like I do it, you can see how this looks more like running than when I do this. This doesn't really look like running, but if I do this, it looks more like running. So what really is missing right now is basically the inclusion of the whole body in the movement. That is very important if you animate your character, especially when you see it looks very stiff. That is because you haven't included your whole body into the animation, probably. One more thing. I've seen it quite a lot in animations, which is the problem of keyframe interpolation. Keyframe interpolation means basically how does the keyframe act when you go from this keyframe to this keyframe. If you have like a ball right here, or let me show you what I mean with keyframe interpolation. That is very important, especially if you move, if you animate organic characters or anything basically. That's also why I talked about inertia and ramping up and slowing down. So if we grab a UV sphere and we animate this, so if we set keyframes right here, we move it over here, and then we say replace keyframe. Oh, not replace, hold on. There you go. We set the keyframes. Wait, where are the keyframes? The keyframes are gone. Oh, there they are. We then go back over here, there you go, and we move the ball right there, keyframe. Now we have two keyframes. The ball moves, the ball has this position on this keyframe and then this position on this keyframe. If we let it play, or let's actually make this a loop. There you go. So if you let this play now, you can see what happens. Zip. That's basically what happens. If we now put this keyframe in the middle, and then we copy this one on the other side as well, so we can create a proper loop, you can see what happens. This does not look normal. Why does it not look normal? Because it is not taking inertia into account. The ball speeds up, or it has a constant speed throughout the whole animation, which is not possible in real life, because you have to slow down before you can, accelerate in the other direction. But this ball is basically, being hit around by bats or whatever. But if this ball would move by its own accord, it would have to slow down and then speed up again. How you can do that? How can you do that in Blender? That's where keyframe interpolation comes into play. If you select your keyframes that you want to interpolate, and then you press... No, before we do that, there's one thing how you can visualize interpolation, and that is in the graphs editor. So if I have another window right here. The graphs editor shows you the speed of an object in the time that you're, that you have here in the time on the timeline. So you can see right here, the speed is this blue line. If we open this, we can see all these individual parameters, and one parameter that changes is the Y location. You can see if we look at the values right here, the only really value that changes is the X location. Hold on. Oh, I'm seeing the wrong. Where's the right one? X location. Can I select it? Where's my X location? Oh, there it is. Ah, there it is. Okay, perfect. Is it the speed? Yeah, it is, right? No, it's not. That's the position. Where's my speed? I need another one. You can switch between different modes. The one that I'm looking for is, so this one basically displays you the, well, you can use this as well. So how I know it, at least in After Effects, is that you can not only display the value changes, so that's what you can see right here. It goes from value whatever down here to a higher value, which is up here. There you go, which is -9 point whatever, and then it goes back to -13. So this is the value graph, how the value changes throughout this animation. What you can also see is that it's very abrupt. There's no ramp up time here. It just, goes up and then immediately goes down again. If you would now enable interpolation, you can see what happens. Interpolation, you create, or you change the interpolation of a keyframe by going into the timeline and then pressing T, which will give you all these different interpolation methods. What I usually only use is Bezier. You apply it, and you can see what happens. Now you have this small little handle. It is similar to curves. We need to probably do the same with these ones as well. So all of them. We're going to select all of them, set them to Bezier, and you can see how the value now changed. You can see now it starts to ramp up the value change. Ramps up more and more and more until it reaches the highest point of value change, and then it ramps down again until you reach the end point. So if you let this play now, you can see what happens. Whoop, 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 whoop. You can see now it slows down before it goes in the other direction again. Let's see that again. Ramp up, ramp up, ramp up, ramp up, fast, 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 and slow again, and then other direction, slow again, and then fast, 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 slow, 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 stopping, and then beginning again, zip, and stopping, and zip, going in the other direction. That is basically how you implement inertia into your characters, or into the keyframes. That is probably the most important aspect of any animation, whether that is machines or that is characters. The only maybe, I guess, case that I can think of right now where you don't really need interpolation in that way, where you kind of have to ramp it up, is maybe when you have like a tennis ball and you hit it with a bat, because then the bat kind of already creates that speed and it just transfers it to the ball, which means the ball immediately ramps up to that speed. Maybe, well, you can probably also say, if you really want to go into detail, the grid that is, where he's hitting the, on the bat, the grid on the bat is kind of elastic, so it kind of bends back, so it kind of slings the ball forward, so I think the ramp up still happens, but it's so fast that you don't really see it, so you don't really have to animate it, because it's so small that not really, you can't go deep enough with it to add keyframes to it. So that's the only case where I could think of where you don't need inertia. But basically with almost everything else, you have a ramp up time and a ramp down time. That is yeah, a very easy way to make your animation smoother. So if you add that to, let's add that to the running animation and see if that improves the running animation just by that. Just by adding this, just by adding inertia to the running animation. Let's see what it does. So if we go in here and we just select this, there you go. What is this actually? Why are those here? Oh, we have to go into here. There you go. So these ones, there you go. Okay. So there you go. So that's the beginning of the keyframes here. Let's just select all of them. Oh, nope. I just want to select these ones. There you go. All the foot keyframes. And then we say busier. And there you go. Now if we go into, oh, we can already see it, can we? Yeah, there it is. That's the value changes for the animation. It looks quite confusing, but now it looks a little bit better. Let's actually compare it to what it looked like previously. So you can see right here, very, very harsh changes. No ramp up time and nothing like that. Nothing is smooth. So what do is you just select all of them. T, busier. And now, oh, look at how smooth it is. It has ramp up time. So now if you play it, you can probably see the changes, but I want to do that for all pieces first. T, busier, the hand as well. Zip, busier, and then this hand as well. And busier, there you go. Let's see if it actually changes a lot, or if we need to do more changes, or if I need to add more to the animation to really see it. There you go. You can already see how much smoother it is. I can't really, I guess, wait, I can probably, hold on, I can probably just, okay, so imagine, look at this, keep this in mind, how smooth this is, and then let's look at the other one. I'm going to go back. There you go. Let's look at it again. See how much blockier it is, and just by adding this this busier interpolation, you can make it way smoother without having to do anything, or just changing the interpolation without having to add more keyframes. So let's bring all those back now. Can I? Okay, well it doesn't really work, so we have to do that again. Going in here, selecting all the keyframes. There you go. So that's what I mean with inertia. We need time. Anything in the world needs time to ramp up in speed. I guess the best example, that probably the most common example, would be in the car. If you move in the car and if you look at the people in the car, the racing car, for example, like rally, you have one dude that is driving, and then you have one dude that is kind of reading out of this board, like saying, oh well, 90-degree curve, 90-degree right, 20-degree left, oh bump, and then you could see like this dude cranking the wheel, trying to get through these through these turns as fast as possible, and the other dude just going in all directions, is because of inertia, the car went in this direction, so you just move, and then the car goes in this direction, so you fly in this direction, in the opposite direction, because you still try to move in the same direction, but the car changes course, so it looks like you're moving right, but you actually just follow the trajectory that we had before. It takes time before you adjust to the new one. So that's what that's basically inertia, just moving around when you're sitting in your rally car. So yeah, so that's how we can imagine, or you can kind of think of inertia. And you can see what it really does. We can maybe even look at it in slow-mo. See how you can see it there quite well on this foot right there. Slow, and then whoop, fast, and then slow again. Yeah, and that's basically for all keyframes. Of course, the wider apart your keyframes are, the more apparent it is. But yeah, if you only have like one step between the two keyframes, there isn't really any time to ramp up. But it still adds more smoothness without having to add any more keyframes. Of course, you can always, if you don't like the look, go in here and remove it with the linear option. But yeah, that is probably biggest problem that I see in animations, or yeah, that is probably the one thing that I'm always looking for animations. Does that person use inertia? Because if they don't, it kind of looks like the movement is very robotic. If you look at, you know, robotic dances, you can see, you know, these very sudden, you know, changes in the there's no ramp up time. It's not smooth. It's like, you know, very choppy, very sudden, and that makes a character look less natural. And just by adding a small interpolation, you can make everything look way smoother. Okay, let's go to the next part, which would be what we've talked about before. Inertia doesn't only include making everything smoother and ramping up, you know, or I mean, I don't know if you really want to include that into inertia, but let's go over why your character might still after animating the arms and the legs and adding inertia, why it still looks weird. You know, it might pass as a running animation, but there's still a lot you can do. So let's compare him with her. We've talked about it before, but let's recap just for a second. I think the biggest problem that we have right now is he may run, but he is not carrying his weight. He's basically just flying through space and the legs and arms flail around. You can see with her, what happens? Can we slow this down a little bit? Can we play this slower? I don't really think so. But what do we get? Oh, playback? Play every frame. Oh, sync to audio, okay. Nope. Okay. Let's just play it like this. So, let's go through this in slow-mo. Let's look at you know, here, this dude, him first, to see what he moves like. Let's focus on the core, the upper body and lower body, the hip and chest. You can see they stay, especially from this view, they stay in the same spot the whole time. They basically just glide over, or you know, they glide through space. If we compare that to her, look at her shoulders. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Let's look at her hips. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So she's weighing something. She has weight. So she's not just flying in space, there's actually gravity pulling her down. So what does she have to do to run? She has to, or what she has to do to, running is basically just small jumps, I guess. She has to, you know, press herself off of the floor and forward to go forward, which means she, you know, kind of bends her knee and then straightens it out to get this momentum upwards, and then she falls down again. She bends her knee to kind of, you know, feather her fall, and then she jumps up again to do the next step, and she does that over and over and over again. What happens if you bend your knee and straighten it? You change the height of your body, and that's how you jump, because you have to change the current body location to jump. You have to go up and down, and that's what is missing right now in the character. But that shouldn't be a big problem to add. What we just do is we grab the good old main back control, let's say, or the, I guess you can say, core control. It basically controls everything that is in the middle of the body, not the arms, not the legs, but basically yeah, the core. So what we do now is we add keyframes to that as well. We go in here, we say, okay, this one is in a good position, although is it? If we trace this animation, let's put this down here. Yeah, so, okay. Let's trace it. This one, yeah, she's in the middle, I think. No, she's actually quite high. So this one probably needs to be in a high spot. This is the low spot somewhere over here, like over here. So this one needs to be quite high. So we pull this a little bit higher over here. Replace keyframe. The movement is very subtle, but it's very important to make this character look like he's actually interacting with the world. The world has gravity, and by giving this character, making the character act as if he has weight, we let him interact with the environment, not only by stepping on the floor, but also by respecting the physical properties. It would be the same as if you would... Oh, welcome back, Rambler. Hope you've enjoyed your Monday. And yeah, hopefully you've also enjoyed your weekend. We're doing the, I guess, yeah, going over some... We're going over how to create a running loop, I guess, for today's animation, kind of covering the basics of mistakes to avoid, or basically why your animation might suck. What could be the problem in your animation? We're currently at weight, I guess, respecting the properties of the world. And yeah, we're now adding weight to the character. Let's see. So let's go in here. So there you go. That's the single keyframe that we have. So this one is a high position. Next up, what we have, let's go to this one. What's the next step? Right there. Is there... Hold on. Oh, that's the next step, right? Oh, that's the middle step. That's the middle step right here. Okay. Perfect. Okay, let's go in here. So he's in the... Okay, so we probably need one more middle step right here to create the lower position. But if we go in here, he kind of lifts himself off again. So he's in a high position here again. So this one needs to have the same location. And then we need to go to the next step. Right here. So this one is a little bit lower. So we're going to pull it lower. Not too low. Just a little bit. We can trace it, of course, back to the reference, insert keyframe. Do the same with the next keyframe, which would be right here. Oh yeah, another example that I wanted to give is if you want to animate, you know, animating a person lifting up a light box is different than animating a person that's lifting up a heavy box, because they have weight that they have to carry. It would be, you know, if you don't respect the weight, then your character will, or the animation will look off and unnatural. Let's see. So this one's the next one. He's pretty high right here. Is that the right? Yeah. Just a little bit higher, like this. Insert keyframe. Next step. Of course, the faster you are, usually the less the height changes, but it still changes a little bit. You can see it in the reference, so we still have to include it. And of course, it just looks a little bit more natural. Okay. Insert keyframe, next one, right there. Oh, right there. This one's also pretty high again. You can see it in the reference. There you go, insert keyframe. Next one. There you go. And this one's high again. We might have to adjust the height a little bit. It might be that I went higher and higher and higher. We can see it probably in the curves. But that looks pretty good. You know, like a wavy motion. That's exactly what I'm looking for. Down, high, down, high. It looks like we went a little bit higher here. But we can adjust that later. Or in a second. Let me finish the loop. It's by just copying this one right there. Copy, paste. When you have this bar right there, that means that the value doesn't change Why is that? Hold on. Oh, because we still need a keyframe between these two. Let's see. This might be too subtle to see. Let's see. Oh, we can kind of see it. Maybe it's not too easy to see. We can, of course, enhance the, you know, the values. It's kind of hard to see. Let's make the values a little bit stronger. So we can actually, you know, use this graph now. Save it right there. Welcome T Apocalypse. Hope you enjoyed your Monday and your weekend as well. We're working on this running loop and basically talking about what to avoid or what might be the cause for your bad animation. We went over how to start the animation. The process is basically, first of all, you need reference. Without reference, your animations will probably look not as good as it could be, just because you can't really just work with your intuition when it comes to animations. You really have to work with reference to see the small movements that your body does when you're moving, to transfer that onto your animation. So what we basically do here right now is we try to trace the movement that the person down here does in the reference onto our character. This is the current state. And yeah, those we've just kind of added a few steps to this animation. We're kind of trying to correct a few mistakes right here. The first one would be reference, using references, then blocking out, going from very few keyframes to adding more and more and more in between to make it smoother and more detailed. The next one would be using or taking inertia into account, basically meaning to make your animation more smoother and more natural, you need to take into account that speeding up an object takes time and slowing down an object also takes time, which we can use by using keyframe interpolation right here in the keyframes. If you press T, you can say Bezier, that is basically the inertia, I guess, mode, which makes the animation smoother and also more natural, which is what we've already added. And now we basically add weight to the character. The character looked very, very stiff, basically as if he was, you know, just flying in the air and the hands are basically, and the hands and legs are moving. Now we add more weight to the character by basically doing what she does. If you look at her, you can see he's kind of bouncing up and down, of course, which is what we try to add to the animation right now. So let's go back in here. We can now work with the graph a little bit more, just because we can see the value changes in the graph a little bit better. There you go. So we can see the value changes are very small. What we can do is we can probably just use the same height or a similar height for all the high points and then a similar height for all the low points. I thought about copying just the first one for the high points and then the last or the next one for the low points, but I think what I want to do first, or rather, is just kind of try to get the same value. If we make it too, I guess, if you copy just all the keyframes, it looks too unnatural because the movement is too perfect. It looks like a robot that does the exact same perfect movement over and over and over again. A human isn't perfect, and it gets affected by, I don't know, wind and whatever, so it kind of, you know, the movement always changes with every second or with every repetition. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna change the X value a little bit. Let's see. So can we just push this up? Never tried that. Oh, it actually works. Hell yeah. So we're gonna put those higher. There you go. Yeah, if you want to see the full, of course, from beginning to end, you can probably either, you know, what is it? Rewind, or you can watch it later. Okay, so yeah, let's do the other values as well. Let's go in here. Okay, so we have this value looks good. Let's go to the next high value, which is this one. This one can probably be a little bit higher as well. There you go. Perfect. Do we have one more? We have. Wait, what is this? Do they not change the height? Oh no, actually not. Okay. Oh, un creador sin importancia. Welcome. That's a very interesting name. Interesting, not meaning bad, but interesting. Welcome. Hope you enjoyed the beginning of the week, maybe even the weekend. Let's see. We are trying to, or we're discussing what makes a good animation and what mistakes do you maybe do. And what could improve your animations. Okay, so we have, yeah, that's good. Good. Let's adjust the low point as well. Unimportant creator. Okay. Maybe it'll be important at some point, then you have to change your name. Okay, so. It's kind of hard to see probably. Maybe we can see it better from the back. Let's see. So, of course, we've set the bounds so we can see the perfect loop. We can see kind of how he changes the height. Of course, you can see with her also, the height doesn't really change too much, especially if you're fasting. If you're running faster, the faster you run, the less, I guess, your height changes. You can compare it to stuff like, you know, to more casual running. If we go to our other references that we've gathered, this one, for example. If you compare it to this one, you can see he moves way more up and down, just because he has in the same amount of time, or he tries to, he tries to move his legs less, but tries to cover a similar amount of space, which means you have to jump higher to, you know, get further, basically. So he has to bounce off higher, which is why he moves, you know, higher up and down. But if you, of course, move your legs more, the less you need to jump high, because, you know, jumping high kind of gets you off rhythm, which is why she bounces up less. There's also one more thing that makes it look unnatural, which we've also already covered, which is you guessed it, inertia. We haven't added inertia to this one yet, to this control. Yeah. That's what we fix right now. Without it, it just looks like, yeah, that's what I like to call adding weight to the character, or making the character interact with the environment. Basically, by giving him weight, or, you know, respecting that the character has weight, you first of all respect the physics of the world. Usually, of course, if you're in space, it's different. But if you have like a person running, for example, you have to move up and down because you have to move your weight. Running is basically just small jumps that you do. And if you just have a body that just, you know, flies through the air and just your arms move, you don't get the feeling of the person having weight. So yeah, now we have the movement, but we still need to add inertia, basically ramping up of speed and then slowing down again. If we look at the graph right there, you can see this very, very sudden change in value. So what we need to do is the same that we've done before. We select all the keyframes right here. There you go, there they are. And we say T Bezier. And you can see now the value has changed, so that it ramps down in speed, and then it ramps up in speed, and then it ramps down again. Which means if we let it play again, hopefully it looks better. It should. Let's see. It is at least, you know, the movement is very subtle and the keyframes are pretty close together, but you can still see it looks a little bit smoother than before. Yeah. There's another thing that makes your character look very stiff. Your character is basically made out of, yeah, that would be the next, I guess, mistake, the next problem that you could have. Let's talk about the build of your character. You know, a character has basically two axes, or, well, let's say the core has two axes. One axis in the top, the shoulders, and then one axis at the bottom. If you move your, if you're sitting and you move your legs, nothing really moves except for your legs. But if you walk, what happens? If you walk like this, you can maybe even see it in my fingers. Let's look at the knuckles. If you just move like this, it looks very stiff. If I do this, it looks way more natural because these knuckles move as well. So when you move your character, especially if you look at the running animation, you can see that not only, if I move my arms like this, okay, let's start from the beginning. If I move my arms to run, it looks like this. If I add weight to the character, it's looked like this. And then if I add, I guess, the two axes, or let's say the two axes to your character, it looks like this. So what we add now is basically, we separate the upper body we separate the upper body from the lower body, and we let them react individually to the limbs that they're connected to. So if you, for example, have a leg right here that is connected, or you have two legs, of course, one right here and one right here, but let's just look at one. If you, try to run, what you of course do, if you look at the reference, you can see she kind of, catches herself on the right foot, then she pushes herself up again. What happens if you catch your weight with one foot? All the weight of your character or of your body rests on that foot. The foot isn't in the middle, or the foot is in the middle of your body, but not the connection to your hip. The connection to your hip is on one side, like this. So these are the two legs that are, this is the hip maybe, let's say this is the hip, and then those are the two bones. They're on the side of your body. You're going back home, so you drive back now. Good luck. Or, I don't want to say, I don't want to jinx it, but, hopefully it's not too long. I hate driving back home or driving anywhere. So yeah. So you have the two bones, and then if you have one, catching all the weight, what happens is, of course, that it gets pressure from the bottom. So it kind of, how do I explain this? It basically does this. This foot catches no weight. So of course the body tries to, because of gravity, fall down, but this leg catches the weight, and which means that this hip that is right here kind of lies on this leg, but not on this leg. So it does this. This is what reaction to the individual limbs means. That is also what happens right here. If I do this, the shoulders or the upper body reacts to how I move my arms. If I do this, the shoulders might react, but not my upper body. My upper body stays completely straight. But if I do this, you can see it looks way more natural, less like a robot. And also, I move my upper body as well, like this. Just to kind of go more in the motion, and involve, first of all, more muscles, and also, I guess, keep balance better. I think that's why you do it. Doing like this, it could probably work, but it's, first of all, unnatural, and, I don't know, just, it's just what you do, and you have to kind of implement into your character as well to kind of keep, make it look more natural. So the good thing is, this rig is separated into two parts. The upper body, right here. Woo. And then the lower body, the hip. Woo. Or woo. So what we can do now is, of course, if you move, you do not only move like this, you also move like this. So if I do like this, you can see it, for example, for Mario. If you do like this, woo, you can see this shoulder is higher than the other one. And then you do this, see? Of course, this is very exaggerated, but we still have at least a little amount of movement like this. At least a little bit of that movement in the body. Yeah, I like to relate everything to real life, especially when it comes to, organic modeling or any modeling, or, yeah, is it kinesiology? Yeah, I don't know what the professional name for it is, but yeah, basically, you know, I try to, of course, if you try to animate a character, you try to imagine what you would do. Of course, you're flawed. First of all, you probably haven't studied the body perfectly, how it moves when you run. That's why you use reference. But also, there are just some things that you kind of pick up and kind of, I guess, keep in your mind when it comes to, I guess, basic rules for animation in general. Stuff like, if you move your body, you do not only move your limbs, but also your full body. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add this rotation, this individual rotation of the upper body and the lower body to this running animation. So we basically rotate, if this arm is forward, like, hold on, where's the beginning? Right there. So right there. We can probably now adjust the rotation so that it is more like this. See, this also immediately looks more natural. And we can probably move this hand forward a little bit as well. But yeah, we can now change this movement to make it look more natural. Which means we can go in here and we can rotate the middle part as well. What you can also, what the problem might be is that if you just try to rotate it like this, you know, using the different axes, you can see you can rotate on the x-axis, you can rotate on the y-axis, and you can rotate on the z-axis. But the problem is, especially if you've rotated your character forward, the shapes are not really, you know, perfectly pointing upwards anymore. You might want to rotate them, you know, more like this, more forward facing. So what do you do to rotate them while respecting their rotation? The study of mechanics of the body movement. Oh, okay. I never heard that before. Or, you know, something like key name, but nothing really definitive. Like a word for it, but it sounds pretty interesting. Maybe I'll look into that at some point. But yeah. Yeah, maybe I'll look into that later. So yeah, if you want to respect the rotation of an object, so like for example this limb or this upper body, because it is rotated forward, it's not like perfectly facing upwards again, so you can't really just use the global axis. You need to use the local axis. If you have the hand like this, the global Z is like this. If you rotate the hand, and the local hand is local Z is also like this. If you rotate your hand like this, the global is still like this, but the local changed to this. So how do you move this hand in the local direction? You select the object and then you press the, I guess, rotation or movement button twice. No, you press rotation or movement, let's say rotation, and then you press the axis that you want to rotate it on. If you press X, you rotate it on the global X. If you press X again, you rotate it on the local X, which is very helpful, especially for stuff like hands. But let's stay on this for now. So now that we have the upper body, let's rotate the upper body on its local Z axis. We press R, Z, and then Z again, and now we can rotate. You can see how the blue line changed. It changed from a straight up to a diagonal, and now we can rotate it on the local Z. Let's do that and add some keyframes to that as well. By moving it more forward, you can see that the hand is now closer than it might need to be. You know, it's closer than it's probably in the reference, so we can move the hand forward as well. We can do these small adjustments as well. So now we just add some more keyframes to this animation. First one would be here. You can see it is slightly rotated in this direction. The shoulders basically follow the location of the arms. So this one is just slightly rotated in to the right, like this. Where's the rotation? There you go. Insert keyframe. We go to the next frame, which is right there. This one means we need to rotate it forward, like this. Insert keyframe. We go to the next one, right there. This one, the arm is back again. I'm only looking at the right arm because the other one is, you know, kind of similar. I also look at the reference, looking at where her shoulders are. This one looks quite straight. Like this. Maybe a little bit rotated like this. There you go. Insert keyframe. Next step. And you see, just by having these few keyframes, you can still create a very nice, good looking running animation without having to have millions of keyframes. All you need is a few, and just adding more and more steps to your animation, maybe even more and more pieces, will make this look way more natural. Okay. How many steps do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 steps for every piece. That isn't that much. Okay. Let's see. This one is quite far down, far back. Like this. There you go. Insert keyframe. Next step would be right there. Okay. This one is straight again, or almost. Like this. Insert keyframe. It actually is quite fast. Of course, doing everything individually is easier. Focusing on each individual piece is easier than focusing on everything together. It gets quite complicated, and focusing on each one individually is just easier. I probably just repeated what I said before, but it is similar to how you create hair. I'm going to go in a small tangent here. I'm just going to work on this while I talk. Hair is basically set up in layers. We've talked about that last week or 2 weeks ago, how you set up hair. There's also a video on my videos channel talking about it. Hair is set up in multiple layers. First layer being the fill layer and the flow layer, basically defining what the flow of the main hair is. If you have long hair, it probably goes down, maybe in some direction, like over the shoulder or whatever. That would be the first layer. Filling the hair, giving it volume. The next layer would be... Oh, there you go. The next layer would be adding small changes to the flow and also smaller strands to make it look more... give it more depth, and also make it break up the main flow a little bit. What I mean by breaking up the main flow is no hair is perfect. There will always be small strands that will go in different directions, and there are small sub-flows, like waves, for example, in every hair that breaks not only breaks the monotony in the hair, which makes it look unnatural, this monotony. It also gives it more depth by adding different, not only lengths, but also sizes of the strands. Oh, hold on, I can copy the last one, the first one. Copy and paste. There you go. Let's look at it. You can see how, it's kind of hard to see, but you can probably see it maybe from here. See how the shoulders change. It's kind of hard to see. I can't really follow the body. Maybe we can see it from the front as well. See? Yeah, that's the best position. Let's let it play. See how it instantly adds more makes the body more dynamic by just adding this small rotation in the upper body. We still haven't added it to the hips yet. That's one thing that we still need to add. Yeah. By creating the hair in layers, let's do the hip now. The first part of the hip, let's say. By focusing on layers, or by focusing on each individual layer, basically adding the first layer and then the second layer and then even maybe the third or fourth, you can really only focus on what this layer needs to look like. If you try to create all the layers at once, it gets pretty muddy and pretty complicated and pretty hard to really imagine or think about everything that you need to keep in mind. We have actually forgot one thing, which is as always, inertia. Or I guess, hold on, there you go. What is it? Interpolation, keyframe interpolation. So T, Bezier, and now it looks even smoother. Let's look at it. See? Oh, it's quite short, but you could probably see it. It's kind of hard to see, maybe from here. See? Okay, so perfect. Let's add the hip movement now. Let's come back to, let's end this this tangent by getting to the point. That is, oh, there you go. So we've basically started by animating the arms and legs, the most extreme movements of the body when you run. And then we went deeper and deeper into smaller and smaller changes, or smaller and smaller contributors of the movement to detail more and more the movement itself. So we started with the arms, or the arms and legs. Then we added the whole core, and then we separated what we do right now. We separate the core into multiple pieces because these pieces interact differently while they're running. This way, we can not only focus on each individual part as we're animating, we can also no, that's basically what we do. We focus on each individual part, which isn't really that possible if you know, have to do it all at once. See how the hip rotates really, you know, the opposite to your upper body. See how if the shoulder is forward, the upper body is forward, but then if the left foot is forward, let's say this is the foot, the hip is forward as well. Which means you have this S curve in the body at all times, or at least in the extreme positions. You can also see it in her. Look at the hip and then compare it to the upper body. Let's go to this one. You can see here the right arm is forward, the right shoulder is forward, the left leg is forward, the left hip part is forward. Then we go to the other side. Left arm is forward, left shoulder is forward, right foot is forward, right part of the hip is forward. That's what we try to create now. This kind of, you know, how do you say it? The opposites. We create this opposite movement in the hip and the upper body. Osculate. What is osculate? Hold on. Osculate? Let me translate that real quick. Okay. Wait, that doesn't make sense. You're confusing me, hold on. Osculate is a Latin word, okay. Hold on. What? Osculate means kissing. I don't know if you want to kiss your fan, at least. I mean, if it's in your family, maybe, but you know. Okay, let's continue. Oh no, what happened? Hold on. Oh, welcome, Uncreator Sin Importancia. Thank you for following. Hopefully you'll enjoy the rest of the rest of the stream. I think my alerts are doubled. I don't know though. We'll see. I need to check that later. Yep, thank you for following. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of the stream. Okay, so let's continue, or let's finish this this hip. Where's the next step? There it is. So this one is probably also in the middle again. There you go. Yeah, roughly in the middle, maybe a little bit forward like this. There you go. I'm gonna be a little bit quicker now. Next step right there. Is it the right one? Yeah. This one's forward, like this. Hell yeah, this might be a little bit too extreme. There you go. It's a keyframe, look at that bun. Okay, never mind. I don't want to harass Roberto, okay? Don't be too mean. Next one. There you go. This one's forward, almost. There you go, insert keyframe. Next one. Yeah, that's basically what we do. Vacillate. What is vacillate? I'm learning so many new terms today. Vacillate. What? That doesn't make sense. Vacillate? Oh, hold on. Basic. Oh no. Okay, I'm confused. Okay, I'm gonna continue. I said I wanted to do it faster, so I'm gonna do it faster. Of course, if there are any questions ever, feel free to ask them. Don't be scared. I will not bite. I will not come to your house. If they, if you have questions later, you can put them in the video comments on YouTube, or you can, I guess, ask them in the next stream. We're gonna dedicate this week to this animation. Hopefully we can finish it this week. We'll see. Oscillate. Wait. Okay, I got a fan to. You're talking about your fan again. You're talking about the fan that you wanted to animate. Okay, now I get it. Oh, what did I do? There you go. Yeah, I mean, yeah, the fan is perfectly a perfect example of inertia, because it ramps up before it is at full speed, and then if you say stop, or you unplug it, it ramps down very, very slowly. There you go. Insert keyframe. One more, which is the first one, right there. Is it? Yep. Oh, is it? Hold on. Yep. Okay. Copy and paste. There you go. Let's see what it looks like now. Save. There you go. Okay. Yeah, we wanted to finish this animation this week. Hopefully, we'll see how far we get. But yeah, maybe tomorrow we'll do the climbing animation. We'll see. Okay. I don't want to talk about the same topics next week, tomorrow, so I'm probably going to think about something else that I can talk about, or that we can cover tomorrow while animating the climbing animation, but we'll see. You can see already. Can you see the changes? It's hard to see really if you can't really follow him. But I think you could see the hip changes a little bit. Yeah, you can see it moving his hips right there, just to kind of add some more movement into the body. We could probably make this a little bit stronger, maybe even, but yeah. There's something wrong about the loop though. Is it? Wait. Oh, you can see it right there perfectly. Ta-da! No, okay, the loop is perfect. Okay. Okay. So, now that we have that, we could say the animation is done. We could say that we could now use this loop and duplicate it, because it's a loop. We should just be able to copy it and create a full running animation from there to the end of the hallway. I think we can do some more detail work here though. So let's go in here and add some more detail. But that's what I meant with working from very rough to very detailed. You can at any point decide when your animation is detailed enough. You could say, well, even without hip and upper body movement, it looks good. I like it without it. So you can just do that without, you don't need to add this, upper and lower body movement. And then, continue your animation. Or you can say now, oh, well, now that I've added the upper body and lower body rotation, I want to add even more detail to this, which is what we're going to do. So which means we can now, we can now add even more detail. We have actually forgot one thing, or I don't want to blame you. I forgot to add Bezier to this as well. There you go, look at how smooth the curves are now. Let's look at it. Oh, way smoother. Okay. So now that we have that, there's one thing that is very easy that we can do to add more detail to the animation. And that is, we can basically animate all the other controls that we haven't animated yet. Like we could add his face, we could add his fingers, we can detail the rotation of the arms a little bit more. One thing that I actually want to fix is the arm. The arms are quite close to the body. I want to move it a little bit further out, like over here, to make the movement a little bit stronger, like this. There you go. Do that just real quick. That's pretty good. Maybe a little bit further back, just to kind of refine the current existing keyframes. I'm going to do the same with the other hand as well. Oh, that's weird. There you go. That's pretty good. Maybe like this. And this way you can now just add more and more detail to your animation. And also adjusting the keyframes that you already have. The less you can see how crazy it gets at some point. Or this is just, the hand movement. But still, you can see how crazy it can get. But by adding more and more to, I like to call it a cake. That's why a cake also has layers. First of all, you add the ground layer, like the legs. Then you add the, the next layer, the next layer, and the next layer, and then at the end you have a cake. The cake looks very complex looking at it, just, well, how do you make this cake? This 3-layered cake with multiple layers in one layer, and then also just decoration on top. Well, you add first one layer, then you add another layer, then you add another layer, and at the end you add just some, some detailed sprinkles or whatever. And that's basically the same with any art form, basically, where you create stuff. Whether that is sculpting or animation, it always comes down to the same basic principles. Let's do the same for the other arm, for the other hand. There you go. Where are you? There you go. It seems like when you're running pretty fast, your hand is actually leading. So you could either do this, where your hand follows the movement of your forearm, or what you can do is you can do this. Your forearm follows the movement of your hand. I think what she does if you run fast is you kind of control your arm with your hand, rather than just, doing this floppy, your hand follows the forearm. That's what I'm trying to introduce right now, some more. by rotating the hand a little bit more forward when the arm is going forward. Which means this one actually needs to go rotate back like this. Replace keyframe. There you go. That's pretty good. Next one. This one probably needs to be rotated more like this. Actually, I wanna make the arm on the previous keyframe a little bit more drastic, more extreme. Over here. It also seems like the hands are kind of rotated inwards the whole time. Like this and this. There you go. I couldn't really think of that without, you know, without reference. Or, yeah, it seems like that. Okay. Next one. Okay, this one looks pretty good. Maybe we can move it forward a little bit more to make it more extreme. Also bring it more in. There you go. We probably, the next thing we could do is kind of adjust the elbow pivot points, these ones basically, you know, these ones, to make it look even more, or make it even more dynamic. So this is now basically the step of detailing your animation. Going through the whole thing, either adjusting the current keyframes or adding new ones to the animation until you are satisfied. You can probably add more and more and more until you have either filled the whole, you know, keyframed everything, every single piece on every single frame, or you end now, for example. I'm probably gonna, yeah, let's add the, what is it? The elbows into it as well, and then I think we should be good. One thing that I actually wanted to add, which is probably also already intrinsically in the rotation of the hip anyway, is that, as I said before, the weight distribution. If you only stand on one leg, there will be more weight on this side of the hip, which means the hip kind of is like the seesaw, rotated down like this. I think that is already included in the rotation of the hip control. So we don't need to change anything there. That's pretty good. Maybe a little bit more forward. Perfect. And then we have to copy the first one. There you go. Okay. Let's see if that was too strong. I don't know. No, I think that's pretty good. The left arm looks weird. Hold on. What is this? There's a weird movement here. What is that? Yeah, we still definitely need some keyframes right here. So what we can either do is we can either space them out more, or we can just add more steps in between. I think that's the choice I'm gonna do, or the choice I'm gonna make. Adding more keyframes in the middle to make it smoother. But we can also just say, well, this looks pretty good. I'm gonna end it there. I wanna add just a little bit more detail to finish the running animation. And that's probably going to be it for today. So we covered basically ways or mistakes, or yeah, first of all, mistakes to avoid, and also things to keep in mind, and maybe even fixes to make your animation more organic, more natural, look better in general. Let's see. So go in here and add maybe one step in the middle right there. These steps are very close together. Maybe we could even go in here, if you go to the summary keyframe, we can just move all of them. Move them just one over here. The problem is that they're spaced in a way that doesn't really change anything in the spacing of them. So we're just going to leave them there. I'm going to add one right here though. Let's add one right there. So we're gonna do the same for the hands. Let's see. You also don't need to add keyframes for all of the pieces necessarily. There you go. See what it does? It just makes the rotation more smooth. Makes it more like a, you know, if you only have one keyframe right here and one keyframe like here, what it does this. But if you add one keyframe right there, then one keyframe in the middle, and then like this, it does this. That's what was missing right there, which made it look so choppy. Yeah, remesh can be quite helpful. I've never really used it though. Yeah, I'm gonna end it here soon, so there's not too much more that I want to talk about. But yeah, I'm glad it helped you. And yeah, enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for joining. Let's end this animation. Hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day. Let's see. This one already looks pretty good, but I want to maybe move it closer. Wait, what is the movement actually? Wait, it is already animated? No, it's not. Okay. We could probably move it lower a little bit, like this. There you go. Just a little bit, subtle changes. There you go. Oh, this might be too wide though. I'm gonna actually move this closer. This looks good, maybe a little bit closer, like this. There you go. Yeah, that's good. Ah, that's one change we need to do. It's too wide off, or it's too wide. Wait, do we change it here? No, we don't. Okay, we didn't. We can see the big problem here as well. See how it does this to run. This that's not how you run like this. So the curve is really in there right now. Let's add the curve. Zip. There you go. Yeah, I mean, you can probably also just animate the fan by using a driver. You don't even need keyframes. Driver might be easier because then you can just tie the rotation to the time. So you don't even have to animate anything. You can just determine the speed by changing a value. I wonder if there's a driver to just loop this keyframe animation. That would be pretty cool. So we don't have to copy the whole thing. And every change we do, it kind of copies. That would be really cool. Okay. I can show you what I mean in a second. Hold on, let me fix the hands real quick and then I can show you what I mean. We have to add one more right there. Yeah, I'm gonna I'm gonna show you what a driver is in a second. There you go. Let's do the other hand. What does the other hand looks like? Wait. Where's the step 2? Yeah. Next video. Oh, you gave me an idea. We can actually talk about modifiers on keyframes tomorrow. But I probably need to look into those a little bit deeper. But we can maybe do some experiments tomorrow. Okay. Let's see if that looks less choppy. Are they all beveled? I mean, yeah, okay. Yeah, this looks way better now. Perfect. Okay. One thing that still doesn't move is his head. His head we could still adjust to make it look more natural, because, you know, if you move your shoulders, your head moves a little bit as well. You could have this, or you can have this, or you can move your head like even more. That all, you know, makes it even more more, I guess, dynamic. Let's talk about drivers for a second. Oh, okay. I'm gonna, yeah, the last thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna animate the head, probably. Some more ideas what we could animate to make this character, or to make this running animation more detailed, more refined, would be animating the fingers, animating the toes, so that they actually, you know, kind of react with the ground. We could also animate oh, the elbows, the pivot points for the legs, and for the legs and for the elbow joints. I actually don't have a shoulder control on this rig, which is a big mistake, but I just forgot about the shoulder piece. So there's no shoulder rotation that we could add, but we could if we had one. But we're gonna do the, what is it? The head rotation in a second. I want to talk about drivers for a second. So if you have a cube, there you go. So you can add drivers to a value. Drivers are basically the same as expressions in After Effects. They're formulas where you can include parameters like time into, to change the value of this cube. What I mean is, if we say we change the rotation, we change the Z rotation. Let's set it back to 0. And then we can say hashtag frame, I think, frame. You can see it already changed, and it's now at frame 9912. If you let it play, you can see what happens. Woo! It basically rotates. If you look at the individual values, you can see what it does. With every frame, it adds more to this value. If we say frame divided by 10, woo! It does the same, but with less change. We basically divide the value that will be added to this value by 10. And this way you can rotate something without having to keyframe the animation, or keyframe the value. I want to actually research something real quick. Blender loop keyframes. Oh, Shift E makes cyclic. Oh yeah, I remember. So we can actually use a, I guess, function to loop the keyframe loop, which is pretty cool. And then if we change the, if we change anything in the loop, every copy of that loop will be changed as well. Ooh. Yeah, frame, I mean hashtag, and then frame is one parameter that I know. There are more. You can also go and right click on this value and then say add driver. Hold on. There you go. So there you go. There you go. Right click add driver, and then you can say type scripted expression. Let's say that. Expression variable plus 0, that is the current function. What is the variable? The variable will be the object.